Good morning. I start every lesson with a review. And so when you walk into my room each day, you'll see a pink review slide up. And I'll have you do some problems. Today we're also going to watch a video and we're going to do some independent practice. So what I'd like you to do is take a clean piece of paper out, and I'd like you to start by putting your review problems in the top left-hand corner. I know this is going to be hard for some of you big writers, but I want you to try to squeeze it all on one piece of paper, and I'll explain why later on. All right, to begin with then, I've got 4 problems. I'd like you to work through as many of them as you can in the next 5 minutes. So go ahead and pause the video for exactly 5 minutes and get through as many as you can. If you don't get through them all, that's fine. Go ahead. All right, I assume you have paused your video. Let's go through the answers. Well, we have 1/2 plus 2/3. This is a 5th grade target. These are actually all 5th grade targets. 1/2 plus 2/3. We can't add these unless we have a common denominator, the same number on the bottom. So we change 1/2. We rename that as 3/6. We change 4/6. We rename 2/3 as 4/6. We add the 3 plus the 4, we have 7/6, and that is an improper fraction. So if we take 7 and we divide it by 6, we can get that down to 1 1/6. Here's a quick look at the 2-digit by 3-digit multiplication. You should have come out with 9,009. Did you remember to put the placeholding 0 here when you multiplied by the 30? Okay. This problem here, area of a triangle, common mistake for 5th and 6th graders. Well, it's base times height divided by 2. So 13 times 20 divided by 2. What I did was, it doesn't matter when you divide by 2. So I just took this 20 and I divided that by 2, and I took 13 times 10 to get 130. I could have done 6.5 times 20, but I didn't know the answer to that. But I knew that 13 times 10 would be 130, so I went with that one. Another common problem spot for 6th graders and 5th graders are areas of a trapezoid. The area of a trapezoid, the formula is 1/2 the height times the base plus the base. So let's put that in there. 1/2 the height. Notice 7 is a distractor. This is not the height. The height is 6. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, and I multiplied that times the base plus the base. Well, the bases are 8 plus 12, so that's really 3 times 20, or 60. Okay, good job. Let's move on. The next thing, I'm going to go through my video lesson, and instead of having you go off and watch a separate video of me teaching the same thing, I'm just going to teach it right on this video. So we'll have some pause problems and we'll have some ticket to the show problems. So wherever your review was, you can kind of block that off, and we'll use the rest of the top half of the paper for the video problems. You ready to roll? Here we go. I'm going to do it just like I would normally do and when you open up a video, but I'm just going to do it live right here. Hey Valley Middle, welcome to another math video. Tonight we're going to be learning about powers and writing them out as a product of the same factor. Before we do that, let's start off with a trivia question for the day. And just for fun, how many professional football teams are there? We'll give you the answer to that after our lesson today. Officially tonight our target is 1.2a. I can write powers as a product of the same factor. Let's do this thing. Let's get right to the must-know words, things that you need to know to understand to be successful today. First of all, you have to know what an exponent is. An exponent is that small number that's raised above the base. So in this case here, the base is 4 and the exponent is 3. Base, exponent, base, exponent. Base, exponent. Are you getting sleepy yet? Okay. You also have to know that when I ask you to write the power as a product of the same factor, I want you to take that base and exponent, I want you to break it down and write it out as a string of digits with multiplication signs in it. This one's easy. It's 3 to the 3rd. We don't have to know the difference between the base and the exponent here. But what I did was I took the base 3 and I wrote it 3 times and I put multiplication signs in between. This one's a little trickier. 4 to the 3rd. You take the base and you write it the number of times that the exponent tells you and put multiplication signs in. Think about it this way. You know that 4 to the 3rd is 4 times 4 times 4, right? So all I'm really asking you to do in this form here, the powers as a product of the same factor form, I could call it the calculator form. What do you put into the calculator to get 4 to the 3rd? Got it? All right. Let's try one more here, and then I'll have you try some pause problems. All right. Little quick review. What's this number right down here called? The? Very good. And this is the? Very good. All right, 9 to the 3rd. How would you write that out? Well, you would simply write 9 times 9 times 9. The base is 9. We write it 3 times, put multiplication signs in. Okay? All right, now we're going to get to what I call the pause problem. So Go back. Up in this corner, you had your review. Now, in this top right-hand portion, or the top right quadrant, we're going to have 3 problems today. They're called pause problems. So on your paper, write PP over in the margin, and then I'll have you write the answers to 3 problems here. You just have to write the answers down and show your work. There isn't much to show in your work for this target. And then eventually we'll write the ticket to the show. But let's just do these pause problems right now. All right, first pause problem here, and I put them in this kind of orange instead of the yellow to kind of highlight it. Hey, before you write anything down, do you remember what this is called? The and the. Good. All right, now take this 3 to the 5th and write that down as write that power as a product of the same factor. Write that as your first pause problem. Pause the video. Write it in your notebook. Top right quadrant. Next to PP. Sorry. Okay. Which of these 2 did you write? If you wrote this one, it's wrong. Go back and correct it. This is 5 to the 3rd. We want 3 to the 5th. Base of 3, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put multiplication signs in between, and you are done. Next pause problem. Remember that this is the base. This is the exponent. Very lovely. How about this? Can you write that power as a product of the same factor for me? Go ahead, pause the video and write it. This is your second pause problem. All right, you're back. Did you write 6 times 6 times 6 times 6? Let me check that again. 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. 4 times. Good, because base is 6, exponent is 4. All right, one more pause problem. Go ahead and write that as a power of the product, or write that power as a product of the same factor. All right, let's see if you got it right. Well, it's 4 to the 6. Let's make sure I got 6 of them. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. There's 6 4s, and they all have multiplication signs in there. I took and broke that down. I put it in the calculator form, or I wrote that power as a product of the same factor. All right, now we're ready for the next portion. Up in your top right quadrant, you have your pause problems here, here, and here. Now, I want you to draw a line across, and I want you to write TTTS over on the side here, because now I'm going to give you the ticket to the show. This is the part, the pause problems I gave the answer to. The ticket to the show problems, I'm not. I'll check those when you upload your work for me. All right, here are the ticket to the show problems. It's always going to look like on this gray sheet here. Go ahead and write 7 to the 4th. And 6 to the 3rd, write both of these powers as a product of the same factor, and when you're done, you can turn the video back on, and I'll give you the answer to the trivia question. Okie dokie. Actually, I bet you a lot of you knew that there's 32 football teams. All right. Couple of things for you football fans. If you go to mentalfloss.com, or if you Google how football teams got their names, Mental Floss, there's a little story about each of the teams that got their names. I just picked one that I thought was kind of interesting because I didn't know how the Cleveland Browns got their name. I thought it had to do something with their owner, but I wasn't positive. So, but there's actually some debate about how Cleveland Browns got their name. Some people think it's because coach and general manager Paul Brown, his last name was Brown, or it could have been after Joe Louis, who was the boxer, and he was nicknamed the Brown Bomber. So basically the owner, this Mickey McBride, conducted a fan contest in 1945 and to see what team name they wanted. And the most popular submission was the Browns. I guess people didn't know, were they saying it for Paul Brown or for the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. But anyway, the Paul Brown didn't want anything to do with that. He was the coach and general manager. He said, nope, not doing it. We're going to be the Cleveland Panthers. Sorry. But unfortunately, there was a local businessman who said, hey, I own the rights to that name, the Cleveland Panthers. So Brown ultimately agreed then to let them use his name, I guess. So if he's letting them use it, I guess really he's claiming that it was named after him. But anyway, the name has stuck. It's not my favorite name, but you can't help but like the Cleveland Browns. They've had a horrible record for many, many, many years. We just can't wait for them to have a breakout season. I think it's going to be soon. They're getting there. All right, thanks for listening. That is the end of my little video. You should have put the ticket to the show problem up there. And now we're down into the practice section. Normally this would end the video and you would just upload your work and you'd be done with your homework for the night. But because we're moving on and I'm giving you your classroom portion as well, we're into phase 2. All right, this is the classroom instruction. Here's what you saw in the video. You saw that powers of the same powers as products of the same factor, or it's just when you take a number like 3 to the third and you break it down into its base and break it down into multiples of itself. So 2 to the third would be written as 2 times 2 times 2. Here's the example from the video, 4 to the third. 4 times 4 times 4. Now, a couple other things you're going to have to know. You're going to have to remember that squared means any number that's to the second power. Squared. Think about it. Square. Cubed is anything to the third number. 18 to the third is 18 cubed. 3 to the third is 3 cubed. 4 cubed. 5 cubed. You'll need to know those words just a little bit. All right, we are going to do just a little bit of group practice. You don't have to write anything down here, but here's what we did last night. I guess we probably just did it in the video now, but you know, typically kids watch the video at night, and then the next day they're doing it, but we're doing this a little bit differently. Or maybe we're doing it differently. So we're going to write these powers as products of the same factor. How would you write 2 to the fourth? Just think about it. You don't need to write it down. Very good. Base of 2, write it 4 times. 5 to the 6th, go ahead. Base of 5, did I write it 6 times? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 2 groups of 3. 7 to the 4th. Okay, 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Good. Let me just extend my page here, see if I can get this to go. 5 to the 8th. Ooh. That's going to be a harder one. I lost my answer. It's down below. So I'll write it this way. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now I'm going to hit another time sign, but now I'm going to put them down below because it's easier for me then to line these up when I have 2 groups of 4. Just a little trick. That helps you. Go for it. You can use it. You don't even have to give me credit for it. What a nice guy. All right, we're down to the last portion of our lesson. I'm going to have you do some independent practice. So on the bottom half of your page, it's going to have you write 1 through 9, and I'm going to have you do 9 problems. Here they are. I'll see if I can't make them just a touch bigger for you. Get my fat head out of the way. So write each power as a product of the same factor. 9 questions. Go for it. No, you don't have to write the problem. Just write the number and write the answer. I know I'm a terrific guy. That's why everybody digs me. All right, well, I'm assuming you got those done. Let me run through the answers with you before you upload those. Here they are. Make sure you got those right. I'll let you check your own work. Okay. Now you're going to understand why I had you do everything on one sheet, because I'm going to have you take that sheet right here where you've got your practice work and you got your ticket to the show and you even had your reviews. Sorry, this one's a little bit different. Flip that there. I'm going to have you take that and I'm going to have you take a picture of it with your iPad and I'll have you upload that to 1.2a. Now I can't show you exactly what it looks like because I'm doing this on my computer, not my iPad, but I can give you a pretty good idea. When you go to the math class, I have my daughter in here as one of the members of the class. You'll look for the course that has the ND, some sort of a Notre Dame symbol there. It'll probably be that shamrock right there. And you would just go to your upcoming assignments and you'd find the work that you just did, 1.2a, and you would click there and you could go in and you could submit that work. In other words, you'd hit submission and it'll ask you if you want to take a picture of it. You've already got a picture taken. You could just go to your camera roll, you can select that, and you can upload that. And if you don't know how to do that, I will have a practice video. Tara's made some videos where they show kids how to do simple submissions, and I'll have her share that with you. Okay? All right, thanks. That's the end of your lesson.